Getting fit as a beginner has never been easier. Welcome to the Become All Strong podcast. Today we've got an excellent show lined up. We're going to address a bunch of fitness and health Q&A questions to boost your fitness, whether you're a beginner, somebody who hasn't lifted or worked out in a long time, or just somebody who's trying to learn a little bit more about health and fitness. Make sure you are subscribed. Without further ado, let's jump right into these questions. So this first individual is struggling with being very, very skinny in their arms, and they describe it as having twigs. My arms are like twigs. My hand is literally skin and bone, but my face and neck carry so much fat for some reason. I know this is genetics, but what I'm wondering in this scenario, should I bulk or cut? Okay, so this is a really, really good point because we can discuss spot reducing fat. So a lot of times people, when you talk about spot reducing fat, they're trying to spot reduce belly fat, as in they have some fat on their belly and they're trying to get rid of it. The thing about this, whether it's belly fat or fat around your neck, is that you can't actually target fat specifically from those areas. And like they mentioned, genetically, we all carry fat in different places. For myself, I carry a little bit around my belly, but I also have a decent amount of fat in my lower back, actually. I hold a pretty good chunk of that. My legs are virtually like lean. They're basically shredded though. And I know for some people, it's the complete opposite. So for this exact scenario, for this individual, it would be a good idea, probably, especially since I'm guessing they're just starting out, to just work out, period, eat enough that feels good for you, and see what happens to your body. Don't really worry about bulking or cutting. Just start going into the gym, going through the motions, and then with time, your body's going to start losing a little bit of weight or gaining a little bit of weight. And whatever happens, you'll either like it or not like it. And then from there, you can decide then, okay, I'm gaining weight and I don't like how I look, so I'm going to now start to cut. Or maybe you'll actually start gaining weight and you're gonna gain some muscle, you're gonna be feeling better, and you're gonna be feeling more confident, so you might just keep gaining muscle. It kind of depends on every individual and their specific goals, but for this specific individual, that is what I would go for. So go ahead, drop a like if that was a good one. We've got plenty more, so make sure you're staying until the end because we've got a lot of good topics to cover. So this next individual is talking about confidence in the gym, and in specific, being an introvert and having confidence in the gym. So a lot of people say that having a gym membership is the best investment to have for yourself. It is definitely one of the best investments to improve your self-confidence in yourself, and we'll talk about why in a second. I always wonder, does it help people who are soft-spoken, introvert type person? I am an introvert. I spend so much time in solitude, and this is where I get my energy. This is where I feel better. This is part of the reason why I like making YouTube videos, is because after this, I can edit this, I can do it all, and I still enjoy talking to people, of course, but at the same time, I just get more energy from being introvert. And I love working out, mainly because if you think about it, when you're working out, it's basically like more alone time for you. Even if you're working out with people around you, it's still more alone time in the grand scheme of things, okay? So I want to get into shape, and hopefully this could increase my confidence, but I feel like there are so many factors in life that brings us down. Lack of clarity in life, don't have the right career. Okay, so here's what's happening with this individual, and this is gonna get kind of more or less towards my therapy pants, but they're taking other stresses outside of the gym that have absolutely nothing to do with the gym and making it a reason why they can't go to the gym. And some of these may be valid to some degree, but they aren't valid to the point that if you really, really want to improve your body and you want to improve the overall shape of your body, lose some weight, get stronger, the thing about this is that even if you're just going once a week for 30 minutes, that's still something. If you're going maybe twice a week for 40 minutes, one day is cardio, one day is weights, that is still something. So instead of looking at it like we need to have a perfect program, especially when you're dealing with a confidence setting, when you are not confident in the gym, you want to just go in and literally do anything that builds your confidence. So that might just be walking for 10 to 20 minutes. Maybe it's doing some light stretches. to the point where hopefully you do build some more confidence and can do it over a long period of time. So going to the gym will absolutely help introverts increase their confidence tremendously. It's a great way to do it, but it's not the only way to do it, okay? And if the gym doesn't vibe for you for increasing your confidence, a lot of people it does. For me, it definitely does. But that's one of many ways. Definitely just find a form of exercise you enjoy, and that will inherently increase your confidence in the gym for sure. In addition to this individual has a very low self-esteem when going to the gym. This is a tough one. This was actually kind of painful to read for me. I just want to cry all the time. I know we're in different stages of our journey, but I'm so skinny and see no hope. Went with my friend today, and I was really embarrassed because they were so strong and I was struggling to replicate their exercises because my body looked strained. I struggled to copy movements. So this brings a lot of different points. Copying movements for the first thing. When you are doing any movement, there is no perfect movement. There is only a perfect movement for you. So one person's perfect squat will look completely different from another person's quote unquote perfect squat. So there is no ideal, right? There's something we can strive towards as in basics of squatting. So equal pressure on your foot. You're going to bend your hips and knees at the same time. You're going to keep your chest up, for example, but everybody's movements look different. I work with seniors who a lot of them haven't worked out religiously in years, and their squat looks a lot different than mine, but it's still a squat, and it's still important to challenge those respective specific movements, right? In addition to this individual is very, very not self-confident because they're comparing themselves to their friend. And I would guess that this person, especially if they're saying their friend's strong, has probably worked out for a long period of time. And anytime you're working out with somebody with a long period of time in the gym, they're going to move very, very good. They're probably going to look a lot better than you in some aspects. And this is simply because they've just had time doing it. So realistically, the best way to look at this is being okay right now with where you're at in your journey and being grateful to know that someday in the future, very soon, you in fact are also going to have an improved body composition, and someday you might actually be stronger and look better than that person. And it's not to say this is a game that we're trying to do that, but there are so many people who started working out because of an idol, because of somebody else. And they really dedicated it and they stuck to it and they enjoyed every single day of the process. And they ended up looking way better than that person they were looking at. And they look better in their own regard because your body will look the way you want it to, okay? If you put the time and effort, it will look the way you want it to if you put that. So hopefully this individual will not give up. If you're watching this and you're like this individual, don't give up. Keep going. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and come back because we'll keep you motivated and strong. On top of this individual is trying to find a healthy balance with gym and food. I am trying to find a healthy love for the gym. This is a struggle that I actually had as well. I haven't been consistently in a while because the last time I was on a routine, I was working out twice a day sometimes, or would be working out to the point of almost passing out. And if I missed the gym, I would feel like I would punish myself and I wouldn't eat it, and it was very unhealthy on all sides. Okay, so I know where this is going, and this is something that I actually struggled with a lot. I would punish myself if I didn't go to the gym. I would always get down on myself and be like, oh, why are you tired? Like, you can't be tired, you're young. Like, go kick your butt, right? And then on the flip side, if I did not work out on a certain day, I would feel guilty about eating food. And that is a terrible situation to be in. And if you're trying to cultivate a self-love aspect when you're thinking about health and fitness, you need to look at it from a sense of, I am doing these things to love my body more. It is not punishment, it is love. Working out is allowing you to move your muscles and express movement and strength in its own ways. Eating healthy is allowing you to recover. Let your body be the fullest and strongest it can be. And in that regard, and in that sense, you will like working out more. You will like, quote unquote, dieting more because it won't even feel like working out. It won't even feel like dieting because you're just simply falling in love with yourself through it all and finding love in doing these self-care things, okay? So the mindset shift is, it is not punishment. It is a way to express the love you have for your body. And doing it from this sense has helped me tremendously, and I know for a fact it can help you as well. So go ahead and drop a like if that gave you some good actionable tips. We're gonna keep moving on here to this next one. This individual is doing 1 month straight of arms. This is an interesting one with no rest days. Am I stupid? Stay tuned for this. So individual is skinny, 120 pounds, so that's first red flag. Very skinny, probably needs to be eating more to gain more muscle and gain weight. After not lifting for 6 months, I began exercising again. I've only been doing bicep curls, hammer curls, pull-ups, and chin-ups. I work out every day until failure. I work out at home, don't go to the gym. I have dumbbells and pull-up bar. Okay, so this isn't the worst, but it's lacking balance. He's only doing pulling movements. So he's only doing pull-ups and rows, and he's only doing biceps curls. So he's neglecting literally all of his leg muscles, and he's also neglecting the triceps and the pushing muscles. So your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, those are all pushing muscles that help to push stuff away from your body. So what likely would happen with this individual is if they kept doing this, they're going to build up overuse injuries because their muscles on the front, their biceps, their forearms, and their back are so strong that the other areas are going to get weaker and the joint's going to be compromised. And when you have a compromised joint, that's when there starts to be pain. That's where there can potentially be injury, where actually tendons rip off the bone. That happens a lot of time with advanced powerlifters. I doubt that would happen with this guy, but I'm not going to call him stupid, but definitely there's more intelligent ways of programming. He could very easily do the exact same thing, but just add some push-ups into this workout, maybe some overhead tricep extensions, and please, dear God, do some leg movements, some squats, some light deadlifts with the dumbbells, lunges. You can do stair step-ups. You can do a bunch of things. I have a bunch of videos on my channel of that. But then also, every single day of working out your arms, if you are not recovering at the highest capacity, and even if you are, I would never recommend this. I would say if he's intelligently training, that doing this type of workout, assuming he adds a little bit more, maybe 3 to 4 times a week is going to give you most of the benefits you need. Over time, when you become more advanced, you can add maybe another day. But he's not even eating enough. He's extremely skinny, 5'8", 120 pounds. He needs to be eating more because that's going to help you grow muscle. You won't grow muscle as quickly if you're not getting that energy from eating. So that's a really big side note. Let's go ahead and move on here. How to actually like going to the gym. So this is a kind of similar to the one we talked about earlier. So when you're talking about liking going to the gym, this individual wants to say, I like lifting the weights in that part of the gym, but I really hate everything else about it. I hate going in the morning or the evening. I hate gym anxiety, and I hate the feeling of being inadequate afterwards. Okay, so I think we might have actually figured out the sole root and cause of this. It's not even the gym, it's the anxiety and the feelings about the gym. So for whatever reason, this individual looks at the gym as a place of anxiety. And I would have to guess, especially since they're saying they feel inadequate after, that they're probably feeling a lack of love for their body and just how their body's functioning in this fitness journey for themselves. So I think the best cause of this literally is for them to, one, stop comparing themselves to others, because I'm sure this individual is looking around in the gym at all the people who have been working out for years and immediately feeling inadequate afterwards, just like they said. And from that will basically make you be anxious, because every time you go to the gym, your body's telling you signals like, hey, this is the time where all those people are probably looking at you and making you look funny, and they're probably judging you, right? So yeah, don't do this. Don't come back again. That is what I would guess the anxiety is coming from, that internal signal. So a few things that I always do when I go to the gym: always have headphones in, always have a good playlist, a podcast or something to just keep you in the zone. And when you're in the zone and you're just focused on your workout, you won't even be worried about the other people. And if you're not worried about the other people, that's when you can really focus on the purpose of being in the gym, giving yourself some self-love and self-care through working out. And these specific things can greatly help to increase your overall enjoyment of the gym and adherence of the gym. And when you have enjoyment of the gym and adherence of the gym, it's game over. It's game over because at that point, you know the formula for you that works, and you can literally ride that wave for the rest of your life. So hopefully this gave some good actionable knowledge. If it did, like the video for that exact section. And this one I really enjoyed because I'm sure in the pandemic a lot of people were dealing with this. So the gym near my house closed. We need some advice on effective body weight exercises and routines. Anxiety about public park workouts. So 23-year-old woman trying to shed some weight, but there's a catch. Gym near my house is closed down. Can't work out in my apartment gym, I'm guessing. Gym for about a month, blah, blah, blah. Bit anxious about hitting the local park with all those potential onlookers. So this is one of those things where you do not have to go to the park to work out, especially if you don't like doing that. It can give you some options, but there are so many bodyweight exercise routines online on YouTube. I have 1 million on my channel in the playlist. You can go check those out. But in addition to mine, there's of course a lot of them as well. When it comes to basically anxiety about public park workouts, need advice on effective body weight exercise. Yeah, so the one thing I wanted to mention in this too is this person is only going to be out of the gym for like a month per se. And a lot of times when people have a layoff from the gym, they get really anxious because they feel like they're going to lose all their progress. And it takes a lot of non-activity to actually lose your progress. Better said, you need to do a very small amount of work to maintain the fitness level you have. I have been very sick this last year. It was almost 6 months where I felt awful. And I did just enough of a workout where I basically maintained all of my muscle. I lost some strength, but all of my muscle mass and a decent amount of my cardiovascular fitness maintained that entire time. 6 months of basically doing the bare minimum. And about a month or two after that, I'm literally stronger and fitter than I've ever been just because I did that maintenance. So for this individual too, and anyone watching, if you're going through a similar situation where your gym's closed, if you're doing a little bit of movement, full body movement at home, legs, arms, everything, you will 100% keep a good majority of your gains. You will maintain at least, maybe lose a little bit, but it's not going to matter in the long run because your body, if you're consistent, probably needs a little bit of rest. So when you get back into the gym, you're going to have a good fire under your butt and you're going to be ready to go for sure. So this individual, I took this actually from a comment on one of my videos just to describe kind of the dangers of dehydration. So this individual is asking if I don't drink enough water, so if I cut out my water and dehydrate myself like a wrap with a towel and blankets, do I lose weight? So this can talk about a few things. One, you will absolutely lose weight, but you will not be losing fat. You will be losing a large amount of water weight. And when you lose water weight, you will lose a lot of just weight, period. And I'm not saying that if this person dehydrated themselves, that you probably would lose fat too, because you definitely would lose fat too. But a large amount of it is water weight. So if you're doing this, you're gonna see literally maybe 10, 13 pounds in 2 days of doing something like this on the scale, but probably 85% of it, maybe even 90, even higher than that, is gonna be water. So the second you drink water, it's gonna suck it back up and go all into your muscle cells, all into your body. This is extremely dangerous though. I would never ever recommend this to somebody, and you can literally die from doing stuff like this. There are professional athletes who are in like weight sports like wrestling or Olympic weightlifting. Gymnastics, I think, is a weight sport. I can't remember for sure if they have, I don't think they have weight classes. Wrestling though, MMA, those types of fighting, boxing sports, those types of sports, they do stuff like this before the meets, and there's some of them who actually die because they dehydrate themselves so much. And it's heartbreaking because they're just trying to perform better, but there can be a level where it's definitely unhealthy. And going into the sauna after workout, getting a little bit of a sweat, even working out in like a sweatsuit, not a bad idea, but you still need to rehydrate after. It's not good to keep that long term, and especially if you're not rehydrating after. So please drop a like. If you got some value from that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And in addition to this, this individual was curious about how you should walk over grass that is slightly overgrown. So this can kind of go into the concept of what exercises we should do to help raise our foot up higher in the air. So if you're taking big steps, bringing your knee up really high, basically doing marches, what exercises do we need to do? And I have a great video on my channel actually, which is how to walk in place to burn 3 times more calories than if you just are doing normal walking in place. That's on my channel, you can check that out. But basically, we're going to be working our hip flexor muscles. Okay, so those are the muscles that are connecting the your hip to your knee. And with this muscle, if you strengthen it through different marching variations where you're trying to bring your leg up higher, that's going to allow you to be able to step over, maybe it's slightly overgrown grass, maybe it's stepping over a curb, maybe it's stepping over a small fence, or just anything. That's the exact muscle that you need to strengthen. And I work with a lot of older adults and people with differing disabilities and abilities, and a lot of times they have very weak hip flexors, so we do a lot of different movements to help work the hip flexors, and it greatly helps them, and I know it can greatly help you as well. So this individual is curious about the difference between variable resistance training and constant resistance training. So variable resistance training is essentially where you either use bands or chains or chains, those are the few that come to my mind, to make different parts of the exercise tougher. So for example, if you have a bench press and you put bands on the side, that is essentially pulling the band harder to the ground. So when you go to the lockout, when you come all the way to the top, it's going to be harder at the top of the movement instead of the bottom of the movement, okay? So it actually adds tension, adds weight, so it's variable resistance throughout the movement. Constant resistance training is the idea of there's no outside load, right? It's still probably going to be a little bit easier when you come up, so it's going to be kind of the opposite of it. And then when you come down, it's going to be a little harder until you come up again. Okay, so basically you're flipping the harder parts of the movement when you're doing this. So in a normal bench press, it is the hardest part of the movement when you are down here, and then it's usually the easiest when you're at the top. But when you add bands to pull it down to you, it's the easiest at the bottom and it becomes really hard, maybe about as equal as what it is on the bottom. So that's a way you can make certain parts of your workout tougher. And when doing this, you're strengthening your body in a different way. So this individual talks about sticking point. This is kind of some contention where, you know, normally it's like, oh, I always fail right at my chest, or oh, I always fail right at my triceps. Sticking points don't exist if you are strong enough, okay? So if you have a sticking point, it literally means that you are just not strong enough to lift that specific weight for that specific range of motion, okay? So if you're literally lifting 225 pounds and you're like, oh, it's so hard, I stop here, and you're like, chest is my sticking point, I guarantee you if you took those plates off, put 185 pounds on, you could probably do it super easily. You don't have a sticking point there. It's not about the part of the movement, it's the fact that you're not strong enough to get it from that area to the top, because you're just not strong enough in general, okay? So constant versus variable, you can try both of them. They're both fun ways of training. Both of them work, and a lot of times when people do variable resistance training, it gives them the confidence to realize like, oh yeah, I actually am stronger up here. Oh yeah, I actually am stronger down here, and gives them a little bit of fuel to help boost them into their next part of their workout. So on top of this, this individual is having a tough time and they're actually showing no progress in their workout routine. So I've been going to the gym 3 times a week since August, and last week I've started going 4 times a week. Been watching calories, lost 15 pounds so far, but recently I've stayed at my current weight and I physically noticed no change. In fact, I look like I've gained weight rather than lost it. Not sure what I'm doing incorrectly. I'm no fitness expert. Okay, so hopefully we can give this individual a little bit of guidance. So they're actually doing pretty well. 15 pounds, 3 times a week since August. I can't remember the exact tracking, but that's a decent amount of weight. That's not bad at all. That's not bad. So that's the first thing. You need to address that you lost a little bit of weight. You put it in input and you got an output. That's amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back for getting that. There's a lot of people who will never even lose 1 pound because they don't have the will or the drive or think that they can do it. So what you've come to is a point where you started to notice it's slowing down. And when this happens with anyone, when they start to plateau in their weight loss, they think they're doing something wrong. And it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that your body is just adapting a little bit to eating a little bit less and potentially exercising a little bit more, so it becomes more efficient at the calories it's burning. So we need to do more of what got us to the point that we were here. So likely it's going to be reducing the calories and potentially working out a little bit more. And however you did it before, this person clearly, they started going 4 times a week. That's a great way to boost the intensity. But I would honestly say, especially with weight loss, it's usually diet. So you probably need to cut back a little bit of the calories on your diet for sure. The other thing about this though too is they're very focused on the scale weight. And for this individual, I would maybe even just try to ditch the scale for a couple weeks. Still follow your routine, still follow the plan, but sometimes when you are so focused on the scale and gaining weight, that is actually what happens. So you're so worried and you have so much fear and stress about gaining weight that guess what happens? You actually gain weight because there's extra stress in your body, and stress is stress. No matter what, it's good stress from like working out or stressing over the idea of needing to work out more. It kind of can conflict and offset. So we have to keep that in mind when we are working out from this perspective. So that's definitely what I would do. Maybe stop looking at the scale quite as often and just keep doing what you're doing and be proud of yourself, people. Goodness, we have so many studs out here who are killing it, and especially in their respective journey. And we just need to take a little bit more time to be grateful for that. This individual is asking about the safe amount of soreness for their muscles after workouts. So BMI, borderline of healthy, unhealthy. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about that. When I lift, I am extremely sore afterwards. After I do only 3 sets of bicep curls and 3 sets of rows for 6 days. After I could literally not extend my arms. They were permanently at a bend. It hurt to raise them above my head or straighten my elbows. This is not good. You should never, ever, ever be this sore. The only people who ever get this sore are usually like really, really intense athletes or bodybuilders, but even their workouts, 80 to 90% of them, they're not sore after. My workouts I work out very, very hard. Not all the time, but I do have hard workouts. I am not sore after them because there is a line where you're at the gym and you're like, I'm a little bit tired. I had a good workout. I'm going to cut it there. That's the line you need to get to. And for a lot of people, I usually recommend trying to find an RPE range. So this is the rate of perceived exertion, where basically it's a scale of 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest. And most of your workouts should be about a 6 to 8, as in you finish your workout and you're like, okay, that felt good, but I definitely could have done a little bit more. And I'm guessing by the end of this workout, this person did not feel like that. They felt trashed. And they also said that they were only doing bicep curls and rows. So there's a lot of imbalances in the other muscles. We're completely neglecting all the pushing muscles in this too. So there's going to be even more imbalance, which could cause some joint instability, which could then cause injury long term. So keep your workouts balanced of legs, upper body, core. Keep the pushing and pulling balance. That's a big key. And if you're feeling tired, it's a good time to stop. Even if you just started your workout, okay? Not all workouts you're going to feel good. Not all workouts you're going to feel bad. You need to take what your body can give you, and especially if you're feeling this sore, that is a sign from your body that it's time to chill out. So let's keep moving on here. This individual feels very, very nauseous when they're trying to hit their protein goals. This is relatable. So I'm trying to lose weight and do so. I've been in a calorie deficit. I've been prioritizing protein. But every time I hit my 103 grams, feel like absolute explicit word. We try not to curse on the channel. But you get the gist. So what we're talking about with this one is protein is a very satiating macronutrient. So anytime you eat like a chicken breast or a steak or something, you probably notice it feels really, really heavy in your stomach. And that's because protein takes a lot of energy to actually digest. So one, it keeps you full. It keeps you the full feeling in your stomach. And two, the reason why is because it takes a long time to actually break down all those proteins. There's this thing called the thermic effect of food, and protein calories, or burning protein, takes the most amount of energy to break down compared to carbs and fats. So that's just a first thing. That's why when they're trying to really push their protein intake, they're feeling bad like this. So when it comes to protein sources though, there's some sources that are more filling than others. And obviously if you're eating like chicken breast and steak, lean pork, those types of things, those are great sources of protein, but they're very satiating. Other sources of protein that aren't as satiating, there's cheese, dairy, milk. I use all three of these a lot. Oh, cottage cheese, there's a fourth one. All of those have a very good amount of protein and aren't nearly as filling, okay? So that's a good tip. On top of this, protein shakes are gonna be a big hack for this person and anyone, because protein shakes have almost 25 grams of protein, give or take, for each thing of protein that you're drinking. Just usually one scoop is what it is. And I literally drink one of those and I feel like I haven't even had anything. I feel like I've just had water essentially. And when I do that, I'm actually ready to eat more. I'm not full at all. And that's when I don't make like a big protein shake with oats or peanut butter and bananas in it. If I'm just eating the straight protein, sometimes I'll actually make a pudding and just like whip up a little pudding in a bowl. And that's something you can do too. But when you're trying to prioritize protein, that's great, 100%. But have sources of protein that are less satiating most of the time. And also too, it doesn't say how much this person weighs, but if this person weighs like say 100 pounds and they're trying to take in that much protein, that's gonna be a lot. Usually we try to get people to do 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So if they're 100 pounds and they're at 10% body fat, that would mean they would have 90 pounds of lean body mass. And from this, then you would do 90 grams of protein. Another way you can do it, kind of just a rule of thumb, is 0.82 grams per pound of what your normal body weight is. So it could be for this individual, if they were just saying like they were 100 pounds and they were using that rule of thumb, they could then do 0.82 times 100, so 82 grams of protein. It's kind of splitting hairs. You're going to be getting near the amount you need, but you should never feel like this, and hopefully you never do when you're eating lots and lots of protein. So speaking of protein, we'll go into an even more in-depth look on protein. So is this individual eating too much protein? 22 years old, 69 kilograms. I don't know off the top of my head, times 214. I think that's around 150, between 150 and 160 pounds. Maintenance calories are 2,600, currently on a bulk, aiming to eat anywhere between 28 to 2,900 calories. So I like this. They have a really small calorie surplus. While doing this, I'm finding I'm eating a lot of protein. Most days, 200 grams, even more some days. Having gut issues, stomach pain, hard stools. I'm worried it's due to the high amount of protein I've been consuming. I've cut out protein shakes, protein bars. Majority of protein comes from chicken, eggs, peanuts, etc. I drink a lot of water. Okay, so here's the thing here. If you are eating enough fiber, fruits, and vegetables, you can eat endless protein, okay? This person's getting a decent amount of water, but I I would have to guess, especially since this person is a younger 22-year-old. A lot of people at this age are trying to maximize their protein, maximize their efficiency in the gym, and a lot of them will cut out other stuff that makes you feel good, such as fruits and vegetables and whole grains, which have a lot of good fiber and micronutrients in them. So I would definitely say it's potentially from the high amount of protein, but probably not the protein itself. It's the fact that they're eating a high amount of protein with very little to no fiber. So one of the things they mentioned, they actually took out protein shakes and protein bars. These aren't inherently bad either. And again, protein shakes are not very filling, and neither are protein bars. So that actually could be a decent idea to still get the protein in, but just having some more fruits and vegetables and whole grains and fiber in that as well. Because if you combine those two, this is my general diet plan for everyone. Getting a decent amount of protein, about 0.82 grams per pound of body weight, getting a good amount of water, good amount of sleep, and most of your meats being lean, most of your grains being whole, fruits and vegetables, trying to get 4 to 5 servings of fruits, 4 to 5 servings of veggies every single day if you are able to. You are going to feel amazing, absolutely amazing. And I think this person is just missing a little bit of that fiber. So that's kind of the key to all of this in the grand scheme of things. If you did enjoy this podcast, please drop a like, subscribe once again, and comment your favorite part of the podcast. And when you're done doing that, you're going to want to check out this one we also filmed right here, addressing more fitness and health questions for individuals who are beginners and just starting out. You're going to want to check that out right here, because there's even more good stuff in that video than this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. To tell me you're no good.